In February 2023, a particularly shocking and cruel murder occurred in Hong Kong, known as one of the safest countries globally. The victim in this case was a billionaire's daughter named Abby Choy. The brutality of this crime went far beyond the typical murder. The killers dismembered Abby's body, cooked her remains in a soup, and ate them in an effort to conceal the crime. The gruesome nature of this murder is almost beyond belief. Stay tuned as we reveal the details of Abby Choy's tragic story. Our story begins on July 11, 1994, when Abby Choy was born into a very wealthy family. Her father was a well-known construction businessman. Abby, from a young age, was a charming girl with a passion for modeling. She kicked off her professional journey as an influencer and quickly gained a massive fan base. Soon, she started working for famous magazines and made a name for herself in the fashion industry. In 2012, at the age of 18, Abby met Alex Kwong. Despite Abby's billionaire background and Alex's middle-class upbringing, they got married. Abby and Alex soon became the proud parents of two adorable children. After having children, Abby continued her modeling career, working even harder to achieve success. But while her modeling career was thriving, Abby's married life was starting to face challenges. After 4 years of marriage, Abby and Alex decided to divorce. Following the divorce, Abby met Chris Tam, and in 2016 they got married, and soon became parents to 2 children. Even though she had started a new family with Chris, Abby continued to financially support Alex and her children from her previous marriage. She spent millions of dollars on a luxurious 4-bedroom apartment for them, and provided a financial stipend to Alex to ensure that he could properly care for the children. Recognizing that Alex's brother, Anthony Kwang, was facing financial difficulties, Abby hired him as her driver and gave him a generous salary. Abby remained generous and considerate towards her ex-in-laws as well. Everyone around Abby was content, and by 2023, Abby had achieved fame by gracing the cover of one of the world's most famous magazines, L'Official. Living a life that many dream of, Abby's income reached millions of dollars. Despite all her responsibilities, Abby was able to successfully balance her personal and professional lives. She often took the time to drop off and pick up her children at school. However, on February 21, 2023, Abby didn't show up to pick up her children from school. Calls to Abby's cell phone went straight to voicemail, and after hours of waiting, the school contacted Abby's husband Chris, who picked up the children. Calls to Abby continued to go unanswered, and she was nowhere to be found. Concerned for his wife's safety, Chris reported her as missing to the local police. Given Abby's status as a famous model and the daughter of a billionaire businessman, multiple police teams were assigned to the case. The police began their investigation by examining Abby's daily routine and looking into Chris Tam, but nothing suspicious was found. The police questioned a number of people who might have had contact with Abby, but unfortunately no leads were discovered. The investigation then expanded to include her driver, but again the police still couldn't find any clues. Faced with a lack of leads, the police decided to investigate Alex and his relatives, but this effort yielded nothing suspicious. The police then extended their inquiry to include the examination of nearby CCTV cameras. The last known sighting of Abby was captured on one of these cameras, showing her wearing a white t-shirt, white pants, and carrying a purple bag. Despite finding this footage, the police still had no real leads. 2 more days passed, and the police were still empty-handed. The pressure on them was mounting, prompting the investigation teams to regroup and devise a new approach. They decided to split up into different groups to separately look into Abby's ex-husband and her relatives. Upon closer examination, the investigators discovered inconsistencies in the statements provided by Abby's ex-husband Alex and his family, spurring them to reopen this part of the investigation. As they dug further into Alex and his family's testimony, the narratives proved to be inconsistent, and several statements turned out to be false. Alex and his family became the primary focus of the investigation, but as the police had no physical evidence, they were forced to release them. However, they continued to keep a close eye on their suspects. During surveillance, it was discovered that Alex and his family were currently residing in a village home under dubious circumstances. The police located the residence, and when they entered the home, they were met with a surprise. Despite claims that several people had been living there for a few days, it appeared as though no one had lived there for a long time. This raised a puzzling question. If the house was vacant, why were people visiting it so frequently over the past few days? The police began their search of the home, and as they entered a room, they discovered a massive meat grinder, an electric saw, 2 large choppers, a large mallet, face shields, and black raincoats. One officer found a purple-colored handbag, the same one Abby was last seen with on the CCTV camera. Upon entering the kitchen, the police encountered a large soup pot filled with meat. Continuing their search, they opened the refrigerator and were left shocked and stunned. Inside, they found small pieces of human feet and various other chopped-up body parts. The police entered all the items into evidence and sent them for forensic analysis. They then launched a manhunt for Alex and his family. However, they had somehow slipped away from the surveillance officers and disappeared. After 2 weeks of searching, the police successfully arrested 7 culprits, including Abby's ex-husband Alex, his brother, his parents, and close friends. The evidence suggested that they were all involved in planning Abby's murder. When Alex was apprehended, the police recovered 5 million Hong Kong dollars in cash and watches worth $4 billion, once owned by Abby Choy. Their interrogations uncovered that the primary motive behind Abby's murder had to do with the apartment she bought in 2019 for her ex-husband Alex and their children. Abby purchased the property under her ex-father-in-law, Wang Cao's name. Alex, the couple's children, and Alex's parents all lived in the apartment. However, in January 2023, Abby decided to sell the property to avoid paying taxes. Trouble arose when Abby's father-in-law refused to sign the papers for the apartment sale. In Hong Kong, a property law allows the person who paid for the property to sell it, even if the property is not listed in their name. Faced with not having a place to live, Alex and his family chose to resort to murder. On February 21, 2023, while Abby's driver was taking her to pick up the kids from school, he stopped the car near a tunnel. Abby's ex-husband Alex entered the car, and he and his brother murdered Abby. They then took her body to the village, where they had rented a home. There, they dismembered Abby's body using a saw, chopper, and various tools. They then ground up her body parts and made soup from them, storing the remaining pieces in the refrigerator. Their plan was to gradually cook and eat the body parts, believing this would make Abby disappear forever and prevent them from being discovered. Alex and his family were tried, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison for the gruesome murder of Abby Choy. What are your thoughts on Abby Choy's murder case? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon to stay updated on our future videos.